In order to cite sources for engineering projects, we're going to need to use APA style, and that applies all the way from IED all the way up through EDD for any of the research projects that we're going to be doing. You can use any citing tool that you wish. If you already have one that you like to use and works well, that's fine as long as it has APA style. But there is one that's particularly easy that is free as well that I'm going to kind of go through today to help you out if you don't have any idea how you're going to cite your sources. The site that I use and that I think you should use as well is called Cite This For Me. So if you search for it, it says Cite This For Me, all one word. And you can Google search that. And the website is actually citethisforme.com. And I'll go ahead and click on that link to go over to Cite This For Me, and it's going to pop up what kind of looks like a Word document or a Google Doc. And it's totally free. You will get some ads over here on the right-hand side, but you can just kind of ignore those. And we have the option of citing pretty much any type of source using multiple different types of citations. So you've used MLA before, most likely in your English classes, and we're going to have to use APA. If you go up to this number 2 section, which is Choose Style, make sure that you come down and select APA 6th edition, which is what we want to use. Now there's, like I said, MLA and all these other ones here, so if you need a citing software for your other classes, you might use this or use this as an option for English as well. But we're going to use APA 6th edition, so you want to make sure you have that selected. Now you have several different types of sources that you may need to cite. But before we get into that, if you go over to the right-hand side, there is a Chrome add-on. So if you're on your Chromebook or on a desktop using the Chrome browser, the Chrome add-on is extremely helpful. So first of all, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on Chrome add-on, and it's going to bring me to the Chrome Web Store. And there is this extension for Chrome that is Cite This For Me that is an extension. We'll go ahead and add that to Chrome and hit Add Extension. And after it does that, it's going to pop up in the top right-hand corner of your browser as a button, and then it should say Added to Chrome here in the Web Store. And I'm going to go ahead and close that window and then close that tab as well. So what we can now do, instead of going through this interface on their website, for individual websites themselves, we can use the extension, and it's much quicker. So I have an example up here which I'm looking into different types of welding technology, and I'm happen to be looking into linear friction welding currently. And I found some information on this site here that I like, that I want to use. It seems like it's from a reputable source. So I want to go ahead and cite this. Now I could go over to, and I can open that back up again. Cite this. I can type it. Cite this for me. And I can come in here and select website, and then I could put a hyperlink in and kind of go from there. The quicker way though is if I go to the website itself, click on this Cite This For Me extension, it's going to automatically pop open a window over here, and you see APA, Chicago, Harvard, and MLA, and it is going to build a citation for me. Now what you may run into is this particular website has a few different authors. So you can see the different authors here, but it automatically generates a citation for you. So what I can do is I can come in here and I can copy, and in the bold it just gives all the authors up here, so you kind of ignore that. But if you click on it, it'll highlight your actual citation, and I can copy this and paste it into my Google slide or Google Doc or whatever you need, or wherever you're putting your bibliography for your citations. So it's a really quick way to cite a website very quickly, get that copy and pasted over, and it's really just that easy. You want to go back and make sure that there's no spelling errors in there. On occasion you'll find one, but double check the grammar and your citation and make sure everything is formatted properly, and you'll be good to go for a website. Now this doesn't work this well for all websites. Sometimes you'll have a website where it can't find the author or something like that, so you may have to do some edits to this potentially, but it usually does a really nice job. If you can't get this extension to work well, you may just have to copy and paste, or copy the link. So I'll go ahead and copy that link. I'll go back to this Cite This For Me. I'll paste in this URL and hit auto cite. And it's kind of going to do the exact same thing that I just did from that other website, but it's going to bring it up in a format here where I can move on to the final step. And it's going to, and you can see it has all these different authors built into it. So I may want to go in and delete some of these. Some of these obviously aren't authors, like customer stories and find fit. Those are obviously not authors. So you want to go through and get rid of all the ones that are not actual authors. So I know that the company is MTI, so really the only one here I need is this MTI, so I can go through and click on the X to get rid of all of these different authors that it picked up from the website. And like I said, it's not a perfect piece of software, but it is free and it'll do most of the work for you, and you'll just need to go back in and make edits to your citation that way that it's formatted correctly, has the correct authors and everything for you. So I'll get rid of this about, because obviously that's not the author, but I'll take this MTI, I'll paste that over as the first name and then delete it as the last name. And then it grabbed everything else, the year published, the website, the link, the page title, the date you accessed it, everything else is there, and I can click add reference. And that'll go through a loading process and pop it back up into this website here where I can take my source, click on it, highlights it, and I can copy and paste that source into my bibliography in my project. So that's one way, or a couple different ways of doing a website. Without Cite This For Me, if you are on Google Scholar, which most of our projects, a good place to go is Google Scholar for reputable sources. I found this friction stir welding for transportation industries, which is something I was kind of looking for. So I can go in and take a look at this and look at the abstract for it, and then in some cases I can even download the PDF straight from Google Scholar. But I've gone through it, I found some information I want, and I just need to cite it. In Google Scholar, most everything you find will have this Cite button below it, and you can click on Cite, and it'll give you the citation for that document in MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, and Vancouver styles. So all you would need to do for APA is go in here, click on that, copy, and paste it into your bibliography for whatever project that you're working on. So Google Scholar is a great place to find sources, and it's also very easy to cite things from Google Scholar because it's already done most of it for you. Now, you won't find all of these for every single one, but the vast majority of them will have this citing option or hyperlink that will have APA done for you. If not, you'll just have to go through and use Cite This For Me to cite that for you. Finally, I also have a textbook that is a welding principles and practices, which I'll show you here in a second in an image. But I want to cite that one as well. The nice thing about textbooks, and I'm going to go ahead and I can leave this in here, but the nice thing about textbooks is if you have the information, the title, the author, generally you can find or Cite This For Me will find the rest of the information for you. So if I go to book over here in the top left-hand corner for add reference, and make sure I'm still in APA, it asks for the book title, author, or ISBN number. Ideally, if you have an ISBN number on your book, that is going to be your best option. The textbook I happen to have has the ISBN number on the inside of the cover and also printed on the back of it as well. Most textbooks do. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the ISBN number, which is 0-02-6666140-3. And I'm going to search. And it may take a couple seconds here to load and go through their database of books to try to find yours. But once it's gone through that process, and as long as you've typed in the ISBN correct, it's going to come up with your book that you have that you want to cite. So it automatically comes up with the title, the authors, the publisher, and the date. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this book because that's the one I want. It's the only option I have. Has all of that information. I'll go to final step. It's filled in the authors, which there are 2 for this book, the year it was published. It's an older book, but a lot of the welding information is still good. The title, the city it was published in, and the publisher. And then I'll just click add reference. Actually, you want to make sure on this end, you want to go in and select the pages that you used for your reference. So if your information you found was on pages 3 and 4, then you would go in here and type 3-4. which indicates the pages that you used, and then add reference. And it's going to go through and generate that, and then you can just click on that reference right there and copy and paste it into your bibliography. So that's an example of going through citing a book, a Google Scholar article, and also a website, which are going to take care of most of the types of resources that you're going to be using for your projects. If you have a different type of source, you have journal articles up here. Also, if you go down to the more option, there's all sorts of things: artwork, an edited book, any type of journal. You can even do podcast or presentation lectures, newspapers, videos, any of those types of things you can cite using Cite This For Me. And all you need to do is select the type of reference you're going to create, make sure that you're in the correct APA style, and then follow the prompts and fill in the information in order to generate the citation. And once you do that, it's going to pop up in this page below, and this will actually keep track of all of your resources that you've created. If you create an account, you're welcome to do so. I definitely don't pay for anything. Use the free options for all of it. But if you create an account, it'll actually keep track of all your citations. Notice that the ones that I've created up here will expire in a certain amount of time. So if you're just getting it and copying and pasting it over, don't create an account. If you're working on a longer project, it may be worth going in and creating an account. That way you can save all your citations and reference them later. If you have any questions about Cite This For Me or a type of reference that you're not quite sure how to cite, make sure you check with your instructor and they'll point you in the right direction.